to the Gallivant Gals podcast. I am Natalie.
And I'm Angelica. It's been a minute, y'all.
It sure has.
We've been on some gallivanting adventures since our
We're
last
excited to
podcast.
talk about it today.
We're so excited. So today we're going to be bringing you all of the latest and greatest from our, I guess you would consider it a fam trip to
Absolutely.
yeah. I mean, we learned a lot, but we went to none other than
Punta Cana.
Dominican Republic, and oh, did we have a time?
I knew the water was going to be pretty, but that water was
Y'all,
beautiful.
breathtaking. In fact,
It was nice.
The stones that we bought down there, that Larimar.
Yes.
So apparently it's pretty rare, but it's supposed to it's called like the dolphin stone. But the reason it's colored like that is because of like the Caribbean water. Like isn't that wild?
Yeah.
They mine it in the mountains of the Dominican. You can only find it there.
And we had to get bracelets. Matching bracelets.
I also got a ring, but
I don't have mine on. Yes, let's get started.
Souvenirs.
So we stayed at Iberostar Selection Bavaro Suites, which is on the Bavaro beach. Well, we both stayed there. We just stayed in a separate area called the Coral Level.
Yeah.
It was the same resort.
So Natalie was here. And I was about right. Here.
So in my defense, the Coral Level, you were in just same resort. Our room was the same, but we had access to a couple of restaurants, a buffet area, a couple extra pools, and things like that. But when I booked it, yes, it did come with like 2 hours of hydrotherapy, which I didn't even know about. Actually, Ashley was the one that told me about it. Had no clue. Yep. But when we booked it, I booked my room first, and then we went to book Angelica's, and it said that one was sold out. So,
but honestly,
I honestly didn't know.
So we booked a beach access room. So I guess their version of a beach access room is like within like a certain amount of feet from
probably
the beach.
Those first buildings that were right there by the beach.
So that's what we were in. We had our private. So when you walked out of our room, we had like that private pool area with like a private bar, and then right across from that was the beach. So like we saw all little like grass tiki huts. Like you could see the ocean from like our door. So honestly, I was not mad about our view, our room, nothing. So even though you were in like one step up, had the access to the restaurants and stuff, I feel like we still got a lot of bang for our buck.
Absolutely. So. And it was the same resort. So how I was like explaining it to people, if you're familiar with Disney terms, like it's like staying at Wilderness Lodge, but in club level. So you just have a little access to things that the rest of the resort doesn't. Like, honestly, like that's all it was. But yes, we were in Coral Level. And I do feel like staying at this resort, if I were to book someone here, I would definitely recommend the Coral Level just because of the exclusive restaurants. Like, that would be the main reason.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, I mean, for us, there wasn't a huge price difference, because we did go on a travel agent rate, which was great. But I think I'm curious to know, like booking at rack rate, what the difference in price would be for Coral Level, like from regular level to Coral Level.
It wouldn't be that much more than your beach, like your access beach suite, your back beach access one.
I think ours
it would be a little bit more.
Because I chose like a higher tier on
in the Selection
Bavaro.
Yes. Yeah. Agree. So. Well, I guess first let's talk about the lobby. Like we first pull up, what was your impression?
So I had never been to sorry, I had to move my camera. I had never been to an all-inclusive resort. So honestly, I had no clue what to expect. So, you know, I guess in my head, I had these like Mary Kate and Ashley, like Holiday in the Sun vibes. I'm like, there's going to be this like grand lobby. And I mean, and it was beautiful. Don't get me wrong. There was a huge fountain and these beautiful statues. Um, sorry, I'm sucking on a cough drop and like
You're fine.
I about swallowed it. Um, so if you guys hear me choke, it's from that. The lobby was beautiful. I was a little underwhelmed, just a little.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little dark for me.
It was dark.
Like,
It was dark.
okay,
Now that you say that, it was dark.
I don't know, and that could have just been a me thing. But for
Yeah.
me, it was kind of dark and the aesthetic was a little bit dark. Usually when I think of something like all inclusive, Caribbean, whatever, I think of like light woods, I think of like light floors and kind of just playing on like the white sands of the beaches. And this was a lot of like dark, rich mahoganies. And now they had some like really pretty like ocean blues, but there was just it was like ocean blue and rust, which was very strange to me, like color combination from an
Yeah.
aesthetic standpoint. But there was also like these weird statues of horses.
There was a weird statue, and I wish I could remember what it was.
Oh,
I'm.
there was
Was
one
it a
weird
shrimp?
Oh, I don't
No.
know if it was shrimp. There was one weird statue that was not in the lobby, but we'll get to
Oh,
that.
okay. We'll get to that. I can't
We'll
wait to
get to
hear
that.
about it.
But the lobby for me aesthetically was a little bit dark, and there was like, I mean, there were some beautiful ceiling fans. There wasn't any overhead lighting, which at least not during the day, they didn't have it on, which I found a little strange. Like, so I'm sitting here trying to look at this resort map, and it is like dark. And I'm like,
Now that you mention that, when we went to Majestic, all three of their properties' lobbies were dark.
really? And see,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm so used to like, and
Even,
again, it may just be because I had this vision in my head of like light and bright, and like our car ride there, like I basically had to put on two pairs of sunglasses because the sun
yes.
was like burning my corneas. But
Yes.
like I just expected it to be kind of lighter and brighter. Now, the open air concept of the
That I was
lobby
just
was
going to
was
say,
breathtaking.
I
Breathtaking.
do love that it was the open air. Like there was no
But like I
walls.
have questions that I need answers, and I need answers to what happens during hurricane season. Do y'all just like pull glass out of thin air? What happens?
I don't know. Do they like
Do,
pull all that furniture into the middle of the lobby
do y'all
and
just like take shelter?
secure
Is it
it
open?
down?
Is it open all the time? Like I feel like these are questions I should have asked before we checked out.
I don't know if there was walls or doors big enough to cover that
Because like
area.
I know where we ate breakfast. All they had were like the little like
Yeah, like curtain things. So they must
yeah,
literally like tie up the furniture in one area or something.
like they literally battened down the hatches. Like I
Yeah,
just had so many questions.
I never thought about that.
I
But that's
know.
very true.
These are the things
That is
that keep
very
me up
true.
at night. But okay, so first impressions of the lobby, it was a little bit dark. The aesthetically, the colors were a little strange to me, but that's not to take away from the beauty of it. I mean, you could literally see like palm trees like lining the walkway down to the main pool area and the beach. So that was beautiful. I just felt like
It's a little dark.
after touring some of the other places that we toured and comparing the two,
Yeah.
it was a little dark for me. Now what was the checkout or the check-in lobby like for Coral? Because y'all checked in a different place
Yes.
than we did.
So when we got there, they kind of whisked us away on a golf cart to go to the
Oh,
coral level
they didn't whisk.
area.
They were like the guy that took us to our room, like I was like, I am gonna get whiplash. Like they they whisked.
Yes.
Y'all were there one minute and gone the next. Like I was
Well,
gonna
they
wait.
wanted us to like leave immediately when we got there, but I needed to make sure that you were getting checked in because we were kind of scared that your reservation was like
Yeah.
disappeared.
Well, and then like
So
you were
I didn't
like,
want to leave you hanging.
right. And they finally found it. But then when Natalie found out that like we were good to go, she kind of walked off. And I turned around. I was gonna say thanks, Nat, and like wave bye, but I saw your blonde hair blowing in the breeze out of the back of the golf cart.
Yeah, they were waiting on me, and I was kind of making them wait because I want to check on you. But so they
They are
whisked
very
us they whisked us away to the area, and oddly enough, their check-in area was quite the opposite.
really,
It wasn't open air concept. So you like walked into this little circular building, but it was like all glass and stone, and it was nice. And it was very bright in there, and there was just a little desk that they checked us in, and there was a little cafe that was also a part of the check-in area on the coral
yeah.
level. But
Well, like
yeah.
even the open air concept, like didn't just wasn't just the lobby area. Like when you walked past the bar area, like you know where you bought your opal and like I bought my
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ring. That like they didn't put anything up. They probably locked the cabinets, but they had like the jewelry out like on the wall throughout the night. Like
Oh, see?
they didn't close anything because like we got there before they opened, and I'm like, all of this jewelry is just like
It's just
sitting
sitting
out
there.
on the wall, and I'm like, y'all either got a really good honor system or you got security watching behind the scenes because like
There must be cameras.
somebody could just reach across and get them, you know, a Punta Cana bracelet real fast.
I didn't
So
notice that. But I
yeah,
guess I never was in that area when it was like closed. So
yeah. But
I did not notice
the whole
that.
bar was still open air concept, like and I like that. And then, did you guys get a chance to like walk across the little bridge into like the little square seating area? I know I
Oh,
pictured
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
in my video.
Yes.
Um, so that was fun. Um, and by fun, I mean that bridge moves,
Oh, I saw the
which
area, but I didn't go over there.
girl, I stepped on it and that bridge moved. I about went into the water. It
I
I
didn't
was
know it
there
moved.
one minute and gone the next, and I didn't know that it moved, and so I kind of like caught my footing, but I was like, "That's interesting." But that little area was very nice, very serene. It was surrounded by plants. And y'all, there are feral cats
I have that of something
everywhere,
that we need to talk about. Yes. We did love the cats as well.
everywhere.
Something also in the lobby. We went to that cafe every
Yeah,
day. We
yeah.
loved that cafe.
Well, and I like that that lobby leads into the main, like where that's where the breakfast buffet is. There's a hair on my face. The breakfast buffet is right off of the lobby, and so,
Yes.
um, yeah. So we'll get into
Yeah,
breakfast, unless
we'll
you
get
want to
into
go
that.
straight into breakfast.
Well, let's go to rooms.
Okay.
Virtually, our room was exactly the same. I think the only difference is we had a king bed in ours, and I don't even know if I distinguished that in booking. Like,
Oh well, see, I think it's randomly selected.
I
So
think it is too because in the
Marty
pictures,
Marty said theirs were like double beds. Ours were for sure queens. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Jay and I had room. Like we weren't like if you try to put me and him in a double bed,
yeah,
no, I'm
yeah,
pretty sure ours were queens. But
ours was a king.
Marty said theirs were like a double.
And I don't know how we got a king because we even switched rooms and we also got a king bed again. So I
And
think it was just total luck of the draw
yeah.
because I don't know how we got that.
Well,
But
so we had the two. I'm assuming they're queens. If they were doubles, they were big doubles.
yeah.
But I'm gonna assume they were queens. But so did y'all have like the little welcome on your bed?
Ours didn't say welcome, but we had the flowers. Like we had little those red flowers like
Yeah,
kind of everywhere. She had them in the bathroom and then there was like a pretty yeah, but ours did not say welcome. I loved your welcome. I thought that
like
was cute.
straight up, like with blades of grass.
Yes.
Said welcome. It had the beautiful flowers everywhere. Um, I loved how it reminded me a lot of the mid-century modern homes that have what they call a conversation area. So
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
in like the old school split level houses, you would have conversation areas where you would have your main dining and stuff up here, but then like down one or two steps you would have like your couches. And so I loved that aspect of it just because I'm a sucker for that kind of architecture. So I loved that. Our balcony was gigantic,
Yeah.
like huge. We didn't get to sit on it much, but
No.
it was huge. Um, Now I will say the toilet situation or the bathroom situation was a little strange. Um,
Yes.
okay, first
I
of all,
completely agree.
okay, are you okay? Is your puzzled face coming from the same reason that I have a puzzled face?
It was the flush of the toilet.
Two buttons.
It wasn't even so the two buttons, like, okay, I got the small one was for like, maybe just pee and the other one was for two or something. But it never like here in the States it like goes.
Yeah,
There
like
it like just kept filling up with water and
so.
then it would stop.
So apparently, the smaller one is to add more water because I googled this once I got home. The
Okay.
small one is to add more water to the bowl. So
Okay.
if you are doing a number two, because they're very energy efficient, I guess,
Yes. Well,
those
and
toilet,
Iberostar is a very energy efficient resort. Like
right.
they're very environmental.
And I love that for them. I love that
Yes.
journey for them.
Yes.
However, if you are if you're an anxiety sufferer or a sufferer of IBS, okay, just we're going to talk about all things on the podcast,
We
guys. Okay.
were worried about using it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we were worried about you, and I was going to be like, "Thank you for the worry," because you know my
No.
anxiety. Okay, so the smaller button adds water to the bowl, and the one on the left does a complete flush, but you have to hold it down until it clicks. If you just hold it down a little, it does a half flush. If you need
Yes.
a courtesy flush for the whole thing, you got to hold it down till
Hold
it
that
clicks.
sucker down.
But let me tell you, I didn't know that till I stepped foot back on US soil and Googled it. So in the meantime, I don't know why I didn't Google it while I was down there. It's not like I didn't have Wi-Fi. It's fine. So I was just pushing both buttons.
Both buttons. There you
Both
go. Hey, it
both
worked
buttons.
and the seat was square.
Square.
It was
Who
very
gives it was
very
a squatty
interesting.
potty. They were very low to the ground and they were very
Yes.
square.
And the shower got nice and hot, but that shower got water all over that bathroom. Like
Okay.
we had towels that were drenched.
There was no shower door.
No, which would be fine if it was like this big area, but it wasn't this like big area. So,
No.
yeah, it
So
was a little
wait, did you have
interesting.
the rain?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so did we.
Yeah, our
So
rooms were the identical.
so from what I've gathered, that stone, I have a bath mat that's made out of that stone. It's supposed to be water absorbent. So if
Oh,
you notice the difference, and I've got a video of it. So if you notice the transition of the tile from the hallway into the bathroom, the hallway tile is completely different than the bathroom tile. The bathroom
yeah.
tile is supposed to look almost like a pumice stone,
Yes.
and it absorbs water, and it's supposed to absorb water really quickly.
It wasn't slick, so that was good.
No, and that's the whole point is A, for liability reasons, and B, it's supposed to literally like it's green, and like so
Yeah.
like mine is literally called a green bath mat, and it's like this stone that just absorbs water, and it doesn't mold, it doesn't mildew, and so because they're in such a humid environment, I'm assuming that that is probably
Why
a
they used it.
more like
Yeah.
it's a clean way to, you know, keep the bathrooms, how do I put this, from getting
Like
over
moldy. Well,
moisturized. Yeah, like,
so when I went to Cancun, our bathroom shower smelled like mildew.
see, and this doesn't like
It
this
didn't,
it can't grow
yes.
mold, it can't grow mildew. And even the way that they grout it, like you could tell the grout was like sand. And
Yeah.
so it was almost like mortar that you put between like bricks. And
Yeah.
so it was very moisture absorbent. And like I'm weird about like germs and stuff
Yeah.
like in bathrooms. And
Totally.
apparently this stuff is very antibacterial.
Yeah.
So I really appreciated that stone in the bathroom. Even though it wasn't the greatest concept, I feel like they could have done it on a slope
Oh
where
yeah.
like the water kind of went a little better into the
So it
drain.
wasn't getting everywhere. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But I will say it was clean. Like
So clean.
I felt like
So
our
clean.
rooms were clean. Like we've stayed in a dirty room in Orlando, not Disney. This was off Disney property, and my son's feet were brown. I had to go buy a
I
Swiffer and
remember.
Swiffer the floor.
It
This
was disgusting.
hotel was clean. Like we had white towels on the floor and they were white when you
Well, did
picked them
you use
up.
your slippers?
Oh, Justin did. I didn't because the other ones they were so uncomfortable. Did you have
So
like flip-flops? We had flip-flops.
no, so ours were like
We didn't have
full covered slippers.
No, we did
So
not have slippers. We had flip-flops.
they had like the toe, like it was a full like covered toe.
Yes.
But they were white on the bottom. And so you know it's a clean floor when you're walking in white slippers with white bottoms all over your hotel room floor,
And it's
and they
still
were
white.
still white on the bottom. And I'm telling you,
Yes.
our cleaning ladies were so precious. Um, so fun fact, Natalie didn't get it, but I did. So this is what happens if you stay in the lower level.
I requested it and I got it.
Did you get it?
I had to request it though.
Okay. So for those of you Epcot lovers, okay, if you go to Club Cool, my favorite drink at Club Cool is called the Country Club. And it's always been my favorite. I am an orange Fanta girly all day long. Like love me some Fanta
Yes.
all day. So the Dominican has their version of orange Fanta, which is called the Country Club. And guess what was fully stocked in our fridge when we got there? The Country Club. Did I expect to see the Country Club in my fridge? No. Was I overjoyed? Absolutely. I guzzled it
Well,
like every night. The only
I'm
downside was our
so
bottle opener was put on upside down. So we had to get
yes.
creative with how to open them. But
Our first room, the bottle opener was on the side. Like they didn't put it in right. The second room, the bottle opener was fine. But going back to the minibar situation, because they are environmentally friendly, eco-friendly resort, they have no plastic stuff. So there's no bottled water in your room. They leave you this giant glass that you can refill at the filter stations. They only had cans of Dasani sparkling water, which my husband loves sparkling water, so he drank that all the time. And they only had in glass bottles regular Coke, Sprite, or the Country Club. So
and
for
y'all,
me,
oh, for
I didn't
you,
like it.
oh yeah, because you're a Diet Coke girly. But
They're
I'm telling
they
you,
had no Coke Zero. No, because they only use glass. They don't use plastic.
yeah. So
So
you had to get it
when we
on
were
tap.
yeah, I had to get it on tap. So that was like, is that bad that that was like my biggest complaint was that I couldn't get
Yes,
Diet
yes,
Coke?
yes, it is. Because listen, I mean, like I'm with you. I do like my Diet Coke. I'll drink some Coke Zero if I have to, but like I feel like a drink tastes so much better in a glass bottle
Oh
anyway.
yeah. If it was Coke
So
Zero or
I
Diet
mean,
Coke, but I don't want regular Coke.
like let me tell you, when I went to drink my first sip of Sprite out of that glass bottle, okay, you want to talk about a spicy Sprite? Okay,
Tears
there
coming
was
out of your eyes.
there was so much fizz. Like I took one sip and I was like, and like I'm like crying. I feel like my nose is running. And Jay is like, "What is wrong?" I was like, "I took this big old gulp of Sprite, not even realizing that it was in a glass bottle and pressurized with enormous amounts of pressure." And I just start guzzling it, and it was like
But
I was trying to exorcise a demon.
no, Sprite, there is a reel. When you hang up from this, go look up Sprite Challenge or something like that
Oh
because there
yeah,
is people are guzzling Sprite and then they have these crazy loud
burp.
burps. And so I think it's a Sprite thing. And then
It
you add a glass bottle
I was
and
gonna say
it's your
it's
toast.
it hits different. I mean, Sprite hits, but Sprite hits different out of a glass bottle. And Dominican Sprite. Let me tell you something about Dominican Sprite. Y'all, when I tell you their Coke, their Sprite, and like their Country Club or Fanta, it's made with real cane sugar.
Yes,
So
it's totally different.
it's not this high fructose corn syrup stuff. I mean, when I tell you the level of crispy that like
Yes.
a regular like, because I still like a regular Coke from time to time.
Yes.
The crispy level was, ugh,
Chris. Yes.
chef's kiss.
Now, the other part of the mini bar, they had like the individual portions of like the chips and the peanuts and stuff. Like, I just want a
I
bag. Like,
didn't
I
get
don't,
any of that.
you, they're in glass containers.
That must have been some coral level stuff because we ain't get no snacks.
I thought that was in everyone's room.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay.
We didn't get no
Well, trust
snacks.
me, you don't want them because all they're doing is refilling the chips and stuff in these glass containers, and then they just put a new sticker on it to like say that it's sealed. But I don't know if they whose fingers have been in there.
No,
I don't want
I don't
that.
I don't think they're doing that.
So at other all-inclusives, not all, they will have like individual Pringles or M&Ms, like peanut M&Ms and things like that. So their
Are you
mini bar
sure they're just
wasn't the
refilling it,
best.
or do they take the glass and put on in a new glass?
Oh no. No, they definitely just refill the glass that's in there because the
How you know
sticker, like there's
you see your fingerprints on it from the day before?
no, one of them wasn't full all the way, like it was halfway full. It looks like they just replaced the sticker on the top.
Oh
I
no.
I did
No,
taste
no.
it and they were fine, but also it's so humid there that things would go sterile like that if they're not in a
They're
package.
stale, Nat, stale.
Stale, sterile.
She's trying to say it's not sterile. It's not.
Not
It's not
sterile.
sterile.
Thanks
It's
for
gonna go
covering me.
stale.
They're gonna go so stale.
It's gonna go so sterile. You
Okay.
y'all have missed
Uh,
us, haven't you? Don't lie. You've missed us so much. We know you have. Oh,
well, I
forget.
was going to give this fact about rooms. There's
Okay.
596 rooms. On this site, it doesn't tell me exactly how many of those are coral. It's only one little small section that's coral. And so I'm assuming that 596 is for all the rooms.
Okay.
Um, but let's see. Let's go to let's talk about the restaurants.
Oh, shall we?
Oh, shall we?
Oh,
And just like
we?
restaurants and bars. So take it from breakfast. Well, first there are, did I say there were 8 restaurants? Anyways, go on. You talk
I
about you guys loved your breakfast area.
freaking loved breakfast. Okay.
Yes.
Listen, I'm usually a protein shake in the morning kind of gal. I am not a big breakfast person. Jay is a breakfast guy. Okay.
I
Like
love breakfast.
if
Like
there is,
favorite meal.
I was gonna say, if there is a breakfast place like that serves breakfast all day, he's gonna get breakfast. Like,
Same. Same says.
so like Waffle House and Cracker Barrel, like his Denny's, that is like his like
Yes.
breakfast all day. So breakfast was delicious. First of all, think about like all of the fresh fruit and pastries that you could think of, but then you could have like a fresh omelet. They had like an almost like an omelet bar of like things that you could put in your omelet. Um, they had pancakes, French toast, bagels. They oh, do you know like the sorry, my favorite things. Do you know like the Chinese donuts? Have you ever had a Chinese
Um,
donut?
I'm pretty sure I have, but I'm like, what is a
They're
Chinese donut?
they're like light and fluffy and have like powdered sugar, and they're just like
Uh-huh.
kind of like a beignet, but not like a beignet. But anyway, so it was like a Chinese donut, but it was like a churro Chinese donut. Okay, so it was cinnamon
Oh.
sugar,
Yes.
fluffy. Like
Wonderful.
I gained 5 pounds while I was down there because I ate like 4 of them every morning. Did I have churros for breakfast? Absolutely, I did. Did I drizzle it in chocolate sauce, not knowing that it was chocolate and tahini. Absolutely, I did. Went to go take a bite, and the chocolate sauce. I thought that the churros were just cinnamon
Uh-huh.
sugar. Mm-mm, the churros were cinnamon sugar tahini, and I drizzled chocolate sauce over it. So I went. Me and Marty were sitting there. I went and took a big old bite of it, and I was like,
This is
"Why is it spicy?" Like, and
interesting.
she's like, "I think that's got tahini on it." And I was like, "Marty, you know I don't like tahini. I don't like anything spicy." But I will say it was different, but it was good. I mean, you know, I had no complaints over breakfast. The fresh fruit was amazing. Um,
Yes.
we had the same waitress the entire time that we were there. She was precious. I think my favorite thing though about breakfast was again like the open air concept of
Yes.
like the dining layout,
Mm-hmm.
like ate by the water, but then in the rafters there were cats. And I know to some, like that might just be like gross. But for me, I was like, and they just take off running. But in my
Yeah.
head, I was going to tame one of these feral cats and take it home with me.
And smuggle
So
it. Just smuggle it home.
I would straight up smuggle a kitty cat in my suitcase. So, but I don't know. I just breakfast was my favorite meal of the day. It was very serene. But Jay and I got up and watched the sunrise every morning. Um, and I will say the one thing I do like, so speaking of sunrise, the one thing I really like, we would go watch the sunrise, but there I never felt like we had to fight for chairs
No.
at
There
all.
was always a chair. And
Like
it
I'm
was
talking like
full when we were there.
umbrella. Like there were
Yes.
plenty of these grass umbrellas. Like it wasn't reserved for any section. Like I never felt like we had to fight for chairs or umbrellas or like a spot on the beach. Like, and this was a family resort. This was not an
Yeah.
adults only resort. So this was a family resort. So I feel like because you hear a lot of people like get up at sunrise and go like save their chairs. And yes,
Oh yeah, it's a thing. Yeah.
there were some people that would do that, but they would do so very minimally. Like they would only save like one or two, maybe three chairs. But Jay and I would watch the sunrise like on like the very front row of chairs. And like in my head, I thought like people would be like, "Are y'all leaving? Can we have these chairs?" And we only had one day one person did that. Other days, like no big deal. Like there were still plenty of chairs when we went out to the beach. So if you get a chance and you're in the Dominican, watch the sunrise. But if you stay at this resort, I will say don't feel like you have to get up at the butt crack of dawn to go save chairs because
You will have them. There will
yeah,
be plenty.
yeah. So go back
Um,
to restaurants.
I was
Sorry.
gonna say, going back to restaurants, so you have the buffet that serves breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then they have a Greek a la carte restaurant that I never saw. I didn't know where that was.
Me neither.
There's the Japanese restaurant. They have a French a la carte restaurant. They had the steakhouse. They had an Italian restaurant. And then they had the Mexican restaurant and they had the cafe. So,
The cafe was
um,
delicious. The
cafe
cafe
was
was,
great.
and yes, it's American food, but I'm telling you what, that is some of the best food. I mean, that burger was
Oh wait, yes, yeah, that
delicious.
cafe. And then they have this. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm totally going all over the place.
No, you're
The
fine.
the
The
coffee
cafe
shop.
was,
They had the
yeah.
coffee shop too.
Oh, well, I guess
I don't
maybe
know
it's a
why.
diner. Is it a diner or was it a cafe? The American one.
I guess they didn't have it on this particular list because I think the other resort, the one that was below us, can technically go to that one too. So it
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
on this
that
resort.
was a down. That's right.
Yep.
Because that's where the casino was too, kind of like
Yes.
in close proximity. Okay,
Yes.
so that was at
But
like what they considered the mall or
yes.
whatever. So we ate there. It was delicious.
And that
Um,
was the American food. We didn't
yeah,
eat the Greek food. No one in our group ate the Greek food.
no, we ate the
There
Mexican
was
food.
a group that ate at the Japanese restaurant and they raved about it. They said there
Yeah,
was no shrimp sauce, but they said the flavoring was so good that you didn't even need it. Like you didn't even miss it. So I
I
was
think
like, well,
shrimp
that's
sauce
good.
is really an Americanized thing.
Yes,
Like,
I love shrimp sauce. I
girl,
love
I
it.
will drink it. Like,
Love it. No one went to the French restaurant, so we can't speak for that. people went to the Italian restaurant and they said it was good. Nothing like, oh, that was amazing, but they said it was definitely worth
Listen, I'm
going
impressed
to.
by Olive Garden, so I am probably not the one to speak
You
on.
guys went to the American one
We
and
went
you
to the
said it was
American one
good.
and it was great. Um,
The Mexican
Minus
one.
the really awkward, like, and listen, I'm not trying to come for Beyonce fans or whatever,
Oh, yeah,
but like for dinner, I really don't want to watch a Beyonce concert. Like, I don't like
the whole time.
if you
The whole
the
time.
whole time. Okay, like I'm talking. First of all, if Beyonce is going to be up there singing "I'm a Survivor" or "Independent Woman," like you better have
Different.
Kelly. You better have Kelly Michelle up there with you.
And the
Okay.
single ladies. Yeah.
Well, that was all her. But I'm
Oh,
just
yeah,
talking
that's all
about
Beyonce. Yeah.
Destiny's
Bills.
Child songs.
Can't pay my telephone bills.
Right.
Bills,
And I'm
bills,
like,
bills.
first of all, where's Kelly and Michelle? Second of
Yeah.
all, I really don't want to watch Beyonce. Like, have it on like the best hits. Like, you could have thrown in some Taylor Swift. You could have thrown in some Kelly Clarkson. Like, if you're gonna make it Americanized, like Kelly Clarkson is an American icon. So is Carrie Underwood. They won American Idol. Like, put them up there, okay? So that was my biggest complaint about that, was just the entire thing was nothing but a really loud Beyonce concert. I was not a fan. The food was delicious. I will say, um, my only issue with the food, I did taste Jay's burger because his came out on a regular bun. I am allergic to sesame seeds. Okay.
Oh,
Like
yes.
EpiPen allergic. So they did not note in the menu that because I ordered the chicken sandwich. And so they did not say that the chicken sandwich came on a sesame seed bun. So if you have allergies, in particular at the Iberostar resorts, at least in my experience, because I had two allergy experiences, one horrible and one where I caught it because I could see that it was sesame seed bun or sesame seeds on the bun.
Yes.
Um, be very thorough if you have food allergies at these resorts. They are supposed to ask you if
No
there's any
one
allergies. Not one person
asked me.
asked if we had allergies. Okay. So thank God I had my EpiPen, and that was at the steakhouse that I almost needed my EpiPen.
Yes.
So, but let's get into the dining situation on how do we feel about the reservation situation, Natalie?
It was not good. Like, that is the other reason why I would tell anyone if you were going to go here, you have to stay in coral level because if you're not there longer than 3 nights, you probably won't get a reservation. Or
And
it'll be at 9:30 at night, your
yeah,
last night.
yeah. And see, Jay
But
and I, they didn't even tell us about reservations at check-in.
no, they didn't tell us either.
Nope.
And there was nothing online about, because so some of our agents, when they ate at the Japanese steakhouse, they sat by a lady who she said that she emailed in reservations a week before she went. There is nowhere online that it says to email in reservations before you arrive.
And there's nowhere online
Nowhere.
that, or at least that I could see, that said that reservations were needed for these restaurants.
No, nothing. So that is definitely, and I tried the first night. Angelica tried. We had someone
I
else
tried,
try.
I pitched a fit, and they tried to give me reservations to a restaurant that you didn't need reservations for.
Yeah. They were like, you can go to the French restaurant,
No, it was the Greek restaurant,
the
actually.
Greek one.
Yeah.
Mm,
And I was like, that's gonna be a hard pass for me because you don't even need a reservation for it. And it's in a level that I don't even have. So
mm.
pass.
Well, in
Um,
the Greek restaurant, I don't think it wasn't on our
maybe it
level.
was the French. One of them was coral level. And
Okay.
they were like, well, we'll make an exception. And I was like, I don't
I
want,
asked.
like, I
Yeah.
don't want it.
I asked because a good chunk of our group was in Coral, and I was like, "Can these 4 people just come and eat here?" Because there was plenty of seats at the Coral restaurants, and they didn't seem to understand what I was also asking.
Yes.
So that was a very big
There's a very big language
problem.
barrier. And
There was
listen,
a big language barrier.
we're we're travel agents. We understand there's a language barrier. Okay, like we understand that we're visiting a foreign country, and that we do not expect. We're not those Americans that expect to go into a foreign country
And
and
for you to
speak our
speak
language.
English
Like
perfect.
that's not what we expect. However, when you're going to an all-inclusive resort where a lot of your business comes from Americans, at least
But
have
it's not
some.
just us. Canadians, Ireland, Scotland,
Oh,
Australia.
we had a couple people from Scotland. Like we
Yes.
had a
So we're
couple from
not the only
Scotland.
ones that speak English.
Right. And so I will say that was the language barrier was very frustrating, especially when it came to my allergy experience at the steakhouse. And we can talk about that later. Or do you want to go ahead and get into that
Well, no, because we're
now?
talking about food. So,
Okay.
and the steakhouse was the last thing. So,
So Natalie ended up getting restaurants or reservations at the steakhouse restaurant. She got me a reservation for 4, and she got her a reservation for 4. So there was 8 in our group. Technically there was 11, but the other 3 had gone somewhere else for dinner. So it worked
yes.
out that it was the 8 of us that were going to go eat. So we go check in. And how about you tell us about your check-in experience first?
Well, so I check in and she's like, asked for my room number. I gave her yours and she had it. And then I gave her mine and she's like, no, no reservation. I said, I
Here
literally
here's the
confirmed
confirm.
this last night and Marty was with me. So Marty was like, yeah, you confirmed it. So I was
She
like,
even
well,
shows her the reservation.
I was like,
Like,
well, what are we going to do? Like, we have been here for this is our third night. We're going home tomorrow. We were able to get one reservation for 9:15 and now you're telling me we can't eat here. So she goes, 1 minute and she walks away and then she comes back and she looks at me. She goes, no reservation. And I just looked at her dead in the eyes and I did not break my stare. And she goes, 1 second, and turned and walked away. And then she comes back and
when
she
I tell
goes,
you, Natalie looked like she was going to hit this girl, okay? Like, Natalie gets this crazed look in her eye, okay? And it's
oh,
kind of like, and
I was dead staring
your
her.
eyebrows straight up touched your hairline. Like, they were like up here. And I was like, oh, shoot.
But
The bad side of that cancer personality is about to
it's
come out.
coming out and it's going to be ugly. So she comes back to me and she goes, we can sit 5 and 3. And I was like, 5 and 3?
And just to preface, all of us are with our spouses. There's 4 of
Yes.
us. Each one of us have a spouse. Okay.
So I was like, whatever. Okay, we'll do 5 and 3. We get to our tables. It's a table of 4 and a table of like 6 or 8. Like,
6.
so I was like, well, this is 4. And she goes, 3 and 5. So I went ahead and we sat down as 4 and 4. She came to the table with 3 glasses and slammed them on the table, did not give me a glass. And I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like, I cannot believe this is
You
happening right now.
I can't believe Justin didn't flip a table like Teresa from the Real
Oh,
Housewives of New
it
Jersey.
was it was the point of laughter though. Like it was like I cannot even believe this is happening. Like what is going on? He was mad, but it was like here's one thing. He doesn't mess with people that touch his food. So
Oh,
so he
yeah,
didn't want to
I can see
mess
that.
he didn't
Okay.
want to mess with someone that had the
Yeah.
potential of messing with his food. So
Yeah.
I just laughed it off. And then our server came and she was charming. She was wonderful. She was happy. She was great. I was like, oh, I didn't get a cup and I don't have silverware. And she's like, oh, so she was so sweet. So sweet. So our
Yeah.
server was great.
That's
Food
nice.
was okay.
The
But
food, okay.
yours
Yeah. So first of all, our server kept telling us that he was LeBron James from
from
Cleveland, Ohio.
Ohio.
And I was like, all right, dude, like, we get it. You're a big LeBron James fan. I love that journey for you. Okay.
Yes.
Um, so I had heard that the steaks are overcooked. So I like my steak medium rare. Okay. So I ordered it medium rare. I should have ordered it rare. So maybe it would have come out medium rare because I ordered it medium rare and it came out more like medium well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
God.
the steaks themselves, I mean, was it edible? Yes. Um, it was the food was interesting. Some of it was good, some of it I could have done a hard pass on. I was really excited, so excited about dessert because they had a hot fudge chocolate brownie. Okay, and in the description, still have the screenshot on my phone. In the description, it says chocolate brownie with hot fudge sauce. Okay? When they came and brought everything out to the table, there was a brownie, but there was like green something cold beside it. Okay, so like it didn't say that it came with ice cream or anything like it was just like something green. And I'm assuming it was like a pistachio sort of something.
Yeah.
Well, I have a tree nut allergy. Okay. Chocolate brownie with hot fudge sauce.
Nothing
Chocolate brownie.
about
Nothing about
anything.
nuts.
Yeah.
So Jay bites into his, Ryan's biting into his, and like I go and I take a bite of mine. And like I'm not really like at this point alarmed until Ryan looks at me and he goes, "Did you get the brownie too?" And I was like, "Yeah. Like we have the same thing. Why is yours not good?" He goes, "I'm almost 90% sure that there's nuts in this." And I was like, "I'm sorry. What?" And so like and then Marty's like, "No, it looks like it might be like oats or something." And like so Ryan like decimates his brownie like in my behalf. Like he is going to save the day at this point. And like Jay is already digging for my EpiPen in my bag. And so Ryan is like trying to, and so he pulls out chunks of nuts. So we call the wait staff over and we're like, "Excuse me, what kind of nuts are in this brownie? Because it's not listed on the menu." And they're like, "Nuts." And I'm like,
Nuts.
"Yes, but what
Yes.
kind?" And they're
Yes.
like, and like they couldn't tell us, like, and I was like, so I start just like naming off nuts. Okay. So Ryan, in the meantime, is pulling up Google Translate to give to the manager, like, because all of a sudden
Yes.
I have a nut allergy, like all of these people flock over to me. Okay. And like I'm getting ready to stab my thigh with an EpiPen because I don't know what kind of nut is in this. Ryan is pulling up Google Translate for the manager, whomever it was, to put in like what kind of nut it is. The next thing I know, the hostess that you dealt with,
The lovely hostess,
and LeBron James from Ohio starts yelling at me, yelling while I am going into anaphylaxis. "Where's your allergy paperwork?" Like clapping their hands like this, like allergy paperwork, screaming at me. And Jay starts gripping the table. Okay. My husband is the most Hufflepuff, low key, just smiles all the time. The man smiles in his sleep. Not a lot gets him riled up. Okay. That when they're this close to my face, yelling at me, like slapping their hands like this, asking for my allergy paperwork. First of all, what allergy paperwork? If your hostess would have done her job, we wouldn't be in this situation. Also, if you would have listed something on your menu, we wouldn't be in this situation. I'm about to own your hotel. Okay?
yes.
So they're screaming at me for allergy paperwork. Ryan hands the guy, he's like Spanish to English translation. Put in what kind of nut. And like Ryan speaks a little bit of Spanish, so he was like basically told him in Spanish to translate like what kind. And
Yeah.
it turns out it was hazelnuts, which I'm not super duper allergic to hazelnuts. They do make me swell, they do make me irritated, but almonds, walnuts, like you can forget it. Like I am EpiPen done.
Yeah.
So they start screaming at me. Well, what happens when you scream at me, Natalie? I scream back. So their Dominican met my Colombian, and I start screaming back at them that, you know, and it was very colorful. And because this is a family oriented show, I will not say what I said, but let's just say that I was basically like, how dare you yell at me like I've inconvenienced you for having a food allergy? Like, how dare you? Like, how very
Yes.
dare you?
And that's where I feel like the biggest problem with the resort was the language barrier. And again, I don't
And
but if
some
you're
of the
going to be
customer service. Like, I,
yes, if you're going to be serving people, especially food, where they should be asking, because other places, that's like one of the first things they ask you. Do you have any allergies?
we were not asked upon check-in. Um,
Never,
we were never not once asked about food allergies. And so that's why
never.
I'm very careful at the buffets and stuff what I
Yeah,
selected, because there were indicators on the signs, like it would have like a little peanut, or like, so it would tell you on the little signs like at the buffets, so I knew what I could and could not eat, which was great. But at dinner with the menus, it was not, that
yeah,
was not the case. And it was really unfortunate because I had really high expectations, especially for someone that somewhere that needed reservations and apparently was very hard to get into. I was very surprised at A, the lack of customer service, and B, the almost entitlement that you experienced and that I experienced. It was not my favorite way to end the trip.
no, it
No,
made me
it's
sad.
thumbs
Yeah,
down. Like, it gave it a thumbs up. No,
I
no,
know.
thumbs down.
It
Um,
made me sad because it kind of left a little damper
it did. It really
on
did.
stuff.
But
But,
I will
but,
say, overall,
yes.
overall, just to kind of put it into summation, the beaches were beautiful. The property was so clean. Those pools were immaculate. Okay.
Yes. Well, real quick, I also wanted to include that there are 7 bars on property. So there was the lobby bar as soon as you went in. There was one that was
And
like
we were
right
served
on the
like
beach.
a mocktail the second we were checking in.
Yes.
It was great.
So there was the bar on the beach. There was the swim up bar, which is very important. People love their swim up bar.
Right.
So they had the swim up bar. There was one in a DJ6 nightclub in the disco, which we never made it to. There,
We did.
oh, did you
We like,
poked your head in?
Amanda kind of just like, and it was like an actual like 70s kind of like disco vibe.
Yes.
So we just kind of poked our head in there. We did not go dancing, but
Yeah.
there's a bar right outside of that that we did get some drinks and stuff at. So and at any of the bars you can get whatever soda you drink on
Oh,
tap
yeah.
as well.
So they
So,
also had a bar that was near the pool that also had ice cream.
oh,
And
I didn't
then
get any ice cream.
I didn't either, not in that spot.
Yeah.
And then it says that there's a theater bar and then a cool wagon bar, which it says location pool. So I'm not sure
Okay,
where the
so the cool
cool
wagon
wagon bar
bar was
was.
by our pool. So that
Okay.
little private pool area that we had, that's where the cool wagon bar was. And I will say,
Okay.
we had the same bartender both days. Well, I guess all 3 days, but the day that Jay was there by himself, with the guys, that was the same bartender that we had the following morning, and he was fantastic. Um, I will say the bartenders that we had, whether at lunch or the pool or the beach, they were all some of the jolliest, nicest people that I have like
Yes.
ever encountered. Like, even
Yeah, I never had a problem there.
no, they were fantastic. Also, it does pay to tip well, I will say. Like, so basically what
Absolutely.
we did, um Jay I Jay had left the cash in the room for when we were out touring. And so, but he thought I had the cash. I thought he had the cash, but the cash stayed in the room. So basically, he told the bartender, he's like, when my wife is here tomorrow, like I'm tipping you. And I'm sure that bartender was like, yeah, dude,
Yeah,
whatever,
right.
you know.
Yeah.
But I went up the next morning and I was like, that's my husband over there. He goes, hey, and like he knew exactly who Jay was. And so I tipped him for the day before, and I gave him a 20, and I was like, and here's your tip for the day. I said, so keep them coming, basically. And so he was like, I mean, he went over like above and beyond like for our entire group. So I basically tipped him for like, because it was me and Marty and Amanda and Steven and Ryan and Jay. So I basically tipped him like for our group. And like anytime our group would go up there, I mean, he was on it.
On that. Yes.
So I will say, and like I tipped our housekeepers very well. So like they were always, they left a giant bottle of Dominican rum in our room.
Yeah.
Like I think that was from the restaurant
The
snack.
reservation thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So a couple other things. There is a two-story gym, which the outside looked beautiful. Like it looked amazing. Justin had full intentions of going the day that we were out touring, but he did not make it. The spa was next door to that,
okay.
which we did go do the hydro
How was
spa.
that?
It was fine. So every place does it differently. Like some of them have like steps on what you do for the hydro spa. But we did do, so they had like a really cold pool. And it was small, like the size of like a big hot tub. So you
Yeah,
go from that
like a
into the
cold plunge.
medium one. Yes. Oh, it was freezing. So we all challenged ourselves to did it. To do it. I'm sure you can picture how theatrical I probably was getting into the cold water and screaming in front of everyone. Yeah, that was me. Totally me. So, but we all did it. We got into the cold one. Then we went into the medium one, like pool water one, and then the hot tub. And then they had a big pool outside that had these different water features. So like one of them was like literally just like water coming out really hard. It's to like massage your back. And then
Oh,
another one was like a hard waterfall. Another one you press this button and then all this like water, like bubbles, not water, all these bubbles were like all around you. So you go to like the
I would have been
different
sensory
stations
overload with that. Like, no.
around. Yes. And then they had like nice chairs around the pool outside. So it was a
Yeah.
little more quiet, a little more secluded. So you did get 2 hours included
Yeah.
um in that. So and it was
So,
nice. Like I wouldn't pay to do anything like that, but it was
right.
nice that it was included for the 2 hour thing.
I think if I could rebook like our room, I would still do a beach access, but I would do a ground level because I will say ground level had like these hammocks and stuff. Like it was really cool, like the ground level. And like getting to walk out and like they literally walked out like straight into the pool. So I
Yeah.
really feel like if I were to rebook, I would rebook probably in that category just because
See,
um
I would pick the second story because you could actually see the ocean from the second
yeah,
story.
that gosh, that's true. Oh,
You
good point.
can
I don't
see the
know.
ocean from the second story, and then
Yeah,
there's not people literally looking into your room.
that's true. See,
So
okay,
on the
yeah,
first
no,
floor,
scratch that.
people
But I
are
will
like,
say the ground floor had the hammock and they so that it was pretty cool. But yeah, I am kind of with you. And I did like the second story situation just because you could see you had like kind of a panoramic view of everything, which was really nice. Um
yes,
and I also like I don't like to hear footsteps above me.
no,
So you're right. I
no,
probably
no.
with the second floor.
But
So all in
a
all, like
few,
I enjoyed the property.
yes. So a few other quick little things. So right next to the spa then was that shopping center. And they had an escape room. They had like a doctor on site. They
They
had
had
a pharmacy that you could like buy pharmacy stuff, but you could not forget the casino. Did you? I didn't ever go in there when people were in there. We had to go in there and use the ATM, but
okay. So here's the thing about the casino. Um, it was the most Myrtle Beach thing that I've ever seen
I'm sure.
in my entire
I
life. I'm
am
like, what
sure.
what in the Green Acres trailer park have I walked into? Okay, when you think casino, a lot of people think like Hard Rock. They think Cherokee or Harrah's or what yeah, and so
Those are nice big casinos. Any
mhm,
other casino we went to was like the one that was on our property.
okay. So this one, I'm pretty sure that all the kids that were like not supposed to be in there because they were probably like, I don't know, 18, barely. They were in there And like I'm pretty sure that I saw like a couple of like the kids that would get drunk in the random fields like I went to high school with, they were in there. And then all of like my grandmother's canasta playing group that all like smoked Virginia Slims and had they look they look like the grandma off The Nanny.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
with the big hair and the glasses and the
Yes.
oh that's and that she for sure smoked Virginia Slims and was probably going to die of lung cancer.
But there
That
was a casino. But there was a casino.
and those were the women on the slot machines.
Yeah,
So
well, Marty said that actually the casino that was there was bigger than the one that was at Breathless and better, supposedly. But we did see a casino at Majestic and it was a little bigger. It was definitely a
we
step
saw a casino
above.
at the Hard Rock, and they had Lady Gaga's dress there, so you're not going to be
Yes.
at the
No,
Hard Rock.
you cannot compare any casino to the Hard Rock because the Hard Rock is a whole nother level of
And
casino.
we'll
So
talk
if the
about that on a
casino's for
whole
you, the Hard Rock is for you.
Now, question, does Joya have their own casino?
No, the only casino on property is that one. So
Oh,
everyone has to go.
oh,
That is the
okay.
casino on
Okay.
property.
So I will say if you're gonna do an Iberostar in the Dominican and you're not taking kids, our suggestion would be to go one step up to Joya, which used to be called Grand Bavaro.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
that is an adults only. And how my husband managed to get over there without having the proper armband, I will never know.
Well, you can just walk over there. It's just a matter of how long will you be over there until they notice you and catch you. So,
Well, Jay apparently was over there for a couple of hours. In fact, he sat in the theater room where like a cast member, Angelica, or not, an employee was like, "You want to sit in the theater? Like, let him sit down, let him take pictures." Never even asked to see his armband. But my husband, like,
well,
again,
when you
it's the smile. It's the. I think they thought that maybe he was by himself and felt bad for himself. Or felt
and
bad
you're
for
like, I do not know.
so. But I for sure went over there thinking I was like, well, if he could do it, I could do it. Absolutely not. Security immediately. Like they showed us.
Yes.
They were like, you can't be here, and I was like,
So yeah, I would definitely, yeah, the Joya was definitely much better. But
don't
so
worry, I
on
got pictures
this
and video.
website, it says land activities. Um, like it says archery and soccer and Spanish lessons and rifle shooting. Like
Where
I didn't
was
see
all of this at?
any of that.
Because the only
Um,
land activity that we did was sit on the beach and got offered to buy cocaine.
yeah. I didn't see any of that. But then again, I wasn't looking for it. So, like on our last day, oh, hold on. One thing. So, I don't think you probably saw this, but I only knew it was there because I watched a YouTube video and I was like, I need to see this before we go. There is actually an area where they grow coral. So, they have a building that's on the beach and they have
That
these
was probably
tubs.
only coral level.
It is over on the coral level, but I think anyone can walk into this coral thing. Like it's open to everyone.
I'm just
So,
oh,
but it is over near the coral level, but you
yeah,
don't have to be coral level to go in there.
okay.
So they did have an area that they like grow coral, which was, I mean, it literally didn't even take 2 minutes to look at it. So that was not anything crazy. But on the last day, we took a golf cart to take us to the lobby so we didn't have to stroll all of our stuff. This golf cart goes up a road that was literally two buildings down from where our building was, and it passed all these shops that we had no idea were there. Like, not that I needed to go into all these shops, but they had like Billabong and Roxy signs and like
It
all
was
these
like a
shops
mall. It was
down
like
this
a mall.
road. It was
So
that I didn't see.
that's where we went to go eat. Was
No,
over
that is on our way. That you pass on the way to go up there. Those shops were along the road that it took us to go up
oh
there. I'm telling you, I did not see because we went to that area. We went and
yeah.
looked around that area. But yeah, I did not see these shops until the last.
Well, that's
day. I know, because I
but
love looking at like trinkety things.
no, I mean, obviously, like I bought the hat I wanted. Hey, listen, I bought this hat, and I think that's what gave it away. I
I
bought
think
this
that's what gave
hat.
it away.
I bought this hat over on the Joya side because, like, I hadn't seen it in our gift shop, and like, I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is like shiny gold, and I loved it, and I had not seen this hat
Yes,
anywhere else, and I was like, that's the hat I want. So I bought it, and I bought it at the Grand, but then I think the ladies at the Grand called security. I was like, so
probably.
not too
I
good
think
to take
so.
my money. So you take my money first, and then you call
And
security.
then you call security. But
Cool,
it was a
but
good
whatever.
purchase. I'm happy you went over there.
I know, me too. I was like, listen, this was worth it right here. So,
Yes.
but
Well,
I will say, if you're doing adults only, definitely do the Joya side. It's
yes.
much nicer. Also, one fact about the Dominican that I did not know. In fact, Evander, our Amstar,
Wonderful tour
he's
guide.
a great tour guide. No beaches in the Dominican are private, so all of the beaches are
Everything's
public.
public.
So, and this, we like one of Jay's friends kind of warned us about this before we went down. He's like, listen, if someone comes up to you and like tries to put a parrot on your shoulder or an iguana, don't let them because then they're going to ask for money. What happens the first day I step foot on the beach? This dude puts like this gigantic iguana on my shoulder. And I was like, dude, if you don't get your lizard off of my shoulder, I will yeet him across the beach. Okay.
And that drives me crazy because it's like you didn't ask for that. Like,
Like,
I
consent,
get
dude.
they're trying to make a
Consent.
buck,
I
but
understand. I understand your money comes from tourism and I appreciate the hustle. I do. If I ask to hold your iguana, if I'm like, oh my God, he's so
yeah.
cute. Okay,
No,
then
no.
maybe. But like you straight up come at me from behind and stick your iguana on my shoulder. No, dude, your iguana is about to take a flying lizard leap across the beach. No, absolutely
No.
not.
So
Also,
you gotta be careful of
you
them.
have to be careful of that. You will, certain people may solicit illegal substances to you.
I still
Uh
can't believe that happened
if
to
they
them,
do
but
this, that is the sign for cocaine. Say no. Okay. So if they're asking you if you want booger sugar, say no. Okay. Like just say
no,
no.
no.
Say
Uh,
no.
just a couple more things about the resort. There is a kids club, so they have a kids club for ages 4 to 12, and they have a teen club for 13 to 15.
The
And
kids
there's a
pool was
great
really cool.
kids area.
Yeah.
Yes, that was really great. I
That
did
thing
appreciate
dumps
that.
buckets of water. Like it, I don't know if you
Oh,
got to
it
see
would.
it. It
I
was
think if it was
so
like a
cool.
3-year-old, it
Oh,
could hurt
it's
you.
so straight up wipe
It's gonna
out all the time.
flatten you out. And then it does say on here, it says pickleball offered, same court as tennis with pickleball lines, 4 courts, equipment included. I don't remember where tennis courts were,
I
but
don't. I think if we would have had 4 days
I
versus
think so
3,
too.
I
But we
think
weren't
that
at the hotel a whole lot.
yeah. So, and even the day that I was at the hotel, I didn't explore like a whole lot just because
Yeah.
we were kind of exploring like the area that we were in. But I think of one extra day just to kind of explore the amenities that our resort had to offer would have been beneficial. But hey, that's what
Yeah.
I mean. That's that or more reason to go back.
Yes.
Jay and I, in fact, are staying at a Joya resort in August, but we're going to Riviera Maya. So we're excited for that.
Yes, yes. And there is a golf course close
Yeah,
by.
Stephen plays
Um,
golf course.
yes, and he was able to get it for free when he sat through the timeshare thing. So you can get golf for free if you do
Yes.
their timeshare
Also,
spill.
just know
But
that when you check in and they're like, "Oh, I'm your concierge. Meet me back in the lobby after breakfast." They're
no.
trying to sell you a timeshare. You
Yes.
can
So
say no.
do not. Yeah.
You also have our permission to tell them you're a travel agent and they will leave you alone. Okay?
Exactly.
Unless you just want a free round of golf, in all by all means go ahead, go for it. But if you don't want to be bothered with the timeshare, tell them you're a travel agent.
And they will leave you alone.
They'll leave you alone. So,
So there you go. As far as accessibility, there are 2 pools on property that are accessible,
Yeah, they have a
and
zero
there are 5 accessible bars, and it looks like all 8 of their restaurants are accessible
So our
for.
pool that was right out by our room was a zero entry, so
Oh,
accessible. And then
nice.
the main pool is accessible. It's a zero entry. So they
Nice.
also had the little chair should you need it.
Should you need it.
Should you need
Perfect. And then I don't know why this just popped in my head, but we ordered room service. Did we do it all 3 nights or just 2
we
nights?
never ordered room service.
We just it was more like because we could, we
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
And so and I have to say the room service food was not bad. Like the pizza was pretty good. Now I take it back. I got a ham and cheese sandwich one night and it was so crunchy, like I couldn't eat it. So I didn't even eat the ham and cheese sandwich. But the French fries were so good. In
I
fact, Justin
I
loved the French
should.
fries.
Me too. Well, you know that's my favorite food,
Oh
regardless
yes.
of where I'm traveling. So,
Yes. Well, the
um,
French fries were on point, so we got those every night.
I will say their chicken nuggets at their lunch buffet
So
were
good.
were the bomb. Like mm, I need
Yes.
that recipe. They were delicious.
Um, so
Overall, we overall overall
overall, we had a good time.
we had a good time. We had a good experience. We weren't gonna let like the couple of
No.
things kind of ruin our stay. I will say, and we'll dive into this in another podcast. We did resort tours for several other
Mhm.
resorts, and would I have chosen those resorts over this one?
Maybe.
Maybe.
But here's the thing, the
For cost,
price.
I would say for cost, I feel like we got a lot of bang for our buck.
Absolutely. So my pros and my cons for this was the pro was it was clean.
Oh,
The
so,
beach was beautiful.
and I will say this, not to cut you off about the cleanliness, but when we were touring at Bre- Breathless,
Uh-huh.
I I like purposely cut out the like soaking tub on the balcony because like it was so rusted in areas like it
Oh,
like it
I don't
oh,
even think I got that
I'm
close
not gonna
to
lie
it.
to you guys, like, and I'm gonna shoot it to you straight. Gross. It was so gross. And so when I say that the resort that we stayed at was top
Yes.
notch clean, it was so clean.
So, yeah, cleanliness and the
Yeah,
beach. So they do clean their
beautiful.
beach. They rake their beach every morning. You could see there was the resort that was next to us. I don't know which resort was directly next to the Joya, but they didn't clean their beach. And there
They
was
did.
a clear line when
So
ours started and theirs ended.
so
So,
Jay and I were out there at sunrise when they were cleaning the beaches, and it looks like a gigantic Zamboni that they do the ice
yeah,
with for hockey, and and they go over it multiple times, and it
yeah,
picks up because it's seaweed season.
yeah,
And so they literally the beaches were so clean. And there is
yes,
like a safety net, like at least where our beach was.
yeah,
Um like I'm assuming for like larger predators, like because tiger sharks and stuff are very prevalent in the area, black-tailed
hmm,
sharks. Jay and them did see a barracuda in the
oh,
water.
yeah, Justin did too. Yeah,
Yeah. So there are still fish.
yes,
Um,
of course.
but the beaches were beautiful. They were clean. I love that you didn't have to fight for a chair.
Yeah.
So what were some more of your pros?
Mean, that was pretty much in a nutshell. I'd say those were my pros
Yeah.
because those are big. And then the con for me, biggest one would be the language barrier. If you spoke Spanish, you would be totally fine. You may have a completely different experience than we had.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not expecting everyone to speak it
I'm
perfectly, but a
freaking
lot of
downloading
yeah,
Duolingo.
yeah, a lot of bigger resorts they do have a little bit more English speaking,
I was gonna
I
say
would say.
the ones that we toured, we didn't have any issues with a language barrier. Um, does it make me want to download Duolingo and learn Spanish? Yeah, actually, it does.
I don't
Uh,
think my brain can learn another language, like, I just don't know.
it was on, especially like in my allergy episode. It felt a little helpful
Yes.
almost.
Yeah.
Um, and so for that reason, But other than,
Yeah.
but like,
The
I'm with
only
you
other
on all the
con
pros.
was the reservation
Yes, that,
situation.
yep,
That was a huge
yep.
con.
Well,
But the
and the
way you can
of
do
certain,
what?
the attitudes of
Oh,
certain,
yeah.
like,
Yes. And
I
I
don't,
felt like if you spoke Spanish, I don't know if the attitude would be different.
I don't think it would have. And I'm gonna
No?
be honest, because I don't think that we would have experienced that kind of attitude. They acted like they hated their job. To be honest,
Mhm.
like,
And only a few. And unfortunately, those few are the ones that stick
the,
out in your
I
mind.
was gonna say the bad apples can spoil it. We tried to be open minded and not let the bad apples spoil like our entire.
Well, I'm
Um,
happy it happened at the end of our
yeah,
stay.
me too. And I will say, but these are things that I feel like that we can let people know going into, if they do choose to
Yes.
stay at this property. Here was our experience. Here's what to expect. I'm not saying that I absolutely would not recommend this property like that. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that at all.
For
There
the
are so many
price,
I would.
for the price,
Yeah. There's
it's
so many,
it's definitely an option.
there's so many reasons I would, but just know this, if you're going to stay here.
Yeah.
So
Agree, agree. Well, I think that wraps it up. It's only way longer than I thought we were going to go. I'm like, oh, let's make this short, an hour and like 15 minutes later.
it's okay. Honestly, I mean, it was our first all-inclusive experience.
Yeah.
So we had a little bit more to talk about, but I think
Yes.
I think the touring videos are going to be much shorter just because we didn't have like
Absolutely.
experience there.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I
It'll
think
be more
we're good.
facts
Yeah, it's
about the
going to be like
resort.
bullet points. But
Yes.
if you or your loved ones would like to book your all-inclusive stay at Iberostar Selection Bavaro, Iberostar Selection Coral,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever. If you want to stay
Coral
one step
selection. Yep.
Coral Selection or Joya, formerly Grand Bavaro, please get in contact with us at sales@gallivantgalstravel.com.
And remember to like, follow, subscribe, hit that notification button, and we'll see y'all next
See you
time.
next time.